Guillens world is back. Happy Tuesday. What's popping?
You know, the snow has melted in Chicago. If you can't see in the camera, I am wearing, so I got this from my guy over at, this is my Bring Good Karma to MLB lockout. This is Evo Shield, and it's got a little Arizona and Florida sun. I miss spring training, and I know I haven't been there in a long time, but spring training is just a great time to good weather. Everyone gets away. March, a lot of Chicagoans make the trip out to Florida. You're drinking, you're going out. And right now is especially the best time because games haven't started yet.
It's a chill time.
Yeah, so everyone is going out. A lot of strip clubs, a lot of golf. You get out at like 12. And I know that I've been to a lot of spring trainings as a son, as a player. My old man was a guy that really liked no nonsense, because it's not about quality. It's not about quantity. It's about quality. So whatever they have set up for that day, you get it done real fast, and then you go out. A lot of guys are on the golf course. They're drinking while they're playing. So me personally, I miss spring training because I always said during the course of the year, unless it's the playoffs, or the best time to be around your team is spring training because everyone's so laid back.
I think that players, you can see that they're starting to miss each other. Guys tagging each other more in post. You know, that chit chatter back. I talked to Cease. We're talking about some type of
Cease working on his changeup.
I think Cease looks very good on the thing. And I saw Moncada as well making videos, obviously, on his workouts. But we're talking about he's actually got to read up on it, some type of farming, one of Cease's things. But we were talking. So I think a lot of guys are getting to that point. I think your body and mind are physically prepared,
and you're ready to go.
It's like a clock. So I think that the clock is ticked because imagine this: we're concerned about it, meaning like. We're watching college baseball. We're freaking out as fans. Again, we don't play.
And this is imagine
like your brain, like everyone, no fans were freaking out until the Super Bowl. Super Bowl ended and fans were like, "Where's my baseball?" So now, again, they're talking negotiations. They said that they're gonna, obviously they're in the process of working it. Again, a lot of things are up in the air, but we just gotta wait and be patient. But for a player right now, you're sitting around and it's so much time. So I saw an interview with Buck Showalter, who's not there with his team. So he's there like looking at all the minor league guys.
A lot of minor league guys are on campus.
So for him, it's hard though, for someone like Buck, because you don't know the players, meaning you don't know what you have. And those guys you might have looked at and had a long time to make that team, again, are not going to be there. You don't know what your season looks like. So for Buck, it's a little bit scenario. And then for the other side of the coin, on the other side of town in New York, is we get to see conversations like Aaron Boone. So I think a little Aaron Boone, I think that if the team's already in camp, I don't think Aaron is as candid of the comments that he made on his first interview. And I want to talk about that interview because I know a lot of people are going to say that Aaron have their opinion about Aaron. And regardless of what you think, if Aaron has been a good manager or a bad manager, results at the end of the day are there. But I am not going to label Aaron in any shape or form. And this is why I don't want to Aaron label Aaron in any shape or form. We have a mistake now in Major League Baseball, okay? When you look at Oney, you label him something because of who his father is. When you look at me, you label me something because of who my father is. Yet you have no idea what my background is, my academic background, what I do on a day-by-day. You label Ozzie Guillen because he has broken English and does not have a degree from Brown, and he's not white, let's just be honest. Or he doesn't wear glasses when he talks. Or he kind of reacts to something, a different way.
Or is not, or doesn't.
He doesn't talk. He doesn't
eloquent.
talk. He's not eloquent when he's expressing himself and when talking about balls and strikes and using big words. We've built all this situation now that we label individuals, okay? And Aaron Boone has been labeled a puppet, which, again, that's for debate on what you think if you're a Yankees fan. I don't think so. There might be influence in his lineup, yes. But I don't think that he is a 100% analytical guy.
No, I mean, it's just obviously as we've well documented, the game has gone into a different direction, that more data is being put into play. First off, data has been around. Baseball is literally data. They keep track of everything. Yeah. Just because there wasn't a name for it in 2004, but infield shifts have been going on forever, meaning they take a percentage, they'll move players to where a certain guy is hitting. Is it being implemented more now? Maybe in lineups? Of course. Every team has their own way. People are saying that Aaron's a puppet because he's getting his lineups hand it to him.
But this is the part that's funny though. When
People don't realize.
but people don't realize general managers, okay, have always wanted to have an influence in the lineup. From Ozzie Guillens' era. And
most of the time, that's when they butt heads.
That's when they butt heads because they say, I don't like your pitching coach. Well, I like my pitching coach. I don't like this lineup. Well, I like my lineup. And that's when you have front office issues. But now they think because a guy wears a suit and he's doing this, that they're influencing every lineup. There's been teams where the general managers influence lineup even in the past. Again, wins or losses. I will talk for experience. I never saw Kenny Williams or any of Ozzie's team come down and say, this is a lineup for today. But did Ozzie and Kenny Williams and the White Sox front office have meetings beforehand, okay, before series and said,
about guys
and said, who are we going to use in this series? Who are we going to extend? And everybody would talk. And then Ozzie and Kenny would go in on their own. And in that meeting, did I see Kenny give Ozzie a lineup? Probably not, but they talked about it so that there's an influence.
Well, there. I also think that there's a discussion to be had.
Yeah.
Because front offices aren't field reps. They're not on the field, but they are the ones that constructed the team. There was a mentality before of managers manage, front office does front office stuff. Now it's more of a melting pot.
But here's my issue.
Because
of data being so good, this is where I think my corporate America experience and this, I have that. I've seen it in both sides. They put the numbers through a machine, the numbers come out, and they say, do this. Yet no one, okay, except guys like Aaron Boone, have had the experience to say, this is why these numbers say this, and coaches. Well, so that's what I think about Aaron. Aaron can say, hey, this guy is struggling, and that's why I want Aaron.
Listen, this is Aaron Boone comes from a family. Aaron Boone grew up in baseball.
So I would be Aaron Boone.
And it's very different. Aaron Boone has a whole different look and feel for the game than most people out there. Why? Because he literally grew up in the game. And I identified myself with someone like that, even though he was a big leaguer for many years. Grew up in the game, grandfather, dad, brothers. Now he's even been on TV. Like he has gotten a lot of areas checked. The Yankees aren't fucking losing because of Aaron Boone. Well, here's the fucking Yankees are losing because there's fucking better teams than them in a division, and guys aren't getting it done. And then you went to go out and get fucking Stanton, and you fucking Judge, and everyone's like, oh, all we do is mash. They fucking suck not because of Aaron Boone. They fucking suck because the fucking players can't get it done. You can fucking wake up. Sorry that I'm cursing. Wake up, fucking Sparky Anderson or Connie Mack. You're still gonna fucking lose. It's not about Aaron Boone. Managers are a big deal, but stop putting the blame on. Maybe put the blame on Cashman. Well, I guarantee you, if George Steinbrenner wasn't one, Cashman would have been fired years ago. Brian Cashman has a clean slate to do whatever he wants. I'm going to sign this guy. I'll sign this guy, but no repercussions. Stop blaming. They always blame the manager. Why don't you blame the guy that puts the team together?
Well, here's the part, though. Talking about that, we don't know if Aaron Boone said, I need a couple guys traded. Because I know managers do that a lot. Hey, this team's not feeling well. We got too many power guys.
No. Give me a lineup with Stanton, Judge, Luke Voigt, just
pitching?
The same guys.
I'm like, are you? But who's pitching?
No one. Glaber can't catch a ground ball. Like, oh yeah, that's Aaron's fault. That's the thing. Analytics are great. There's a place in the game. Data, I love all that because with that information, you are going to be more prepared. It's like taking a test and trying to know the answer. But at the end of the day, they can't make you pull the trigger.
But here's the part that people don't fan, because Yankee fans in here on the show, those are like guys.
I'm sorry. That's right. You guys are all Yankees fans.
But they want a guy like Ozzie Guillen. Okay, and I said this. I said, I don't think that Yankees team.
He would hate it.
No. They would like Ozzie. Giancarlo could because they're friends off the field. But I'm really worried about that team's attitude because they got rid of George Girardi because he was too tough. George Girardi was not cuddling guys and saying, oh, it's okay. And that's why they brought Aaron in, a guy that maybe was more friendly and likable.
Correct. Who did George Girardi have in the infield? 2009, was it? Mark Teixeira.
Grown man.
Robbie Cano.
Grown man.
Derek Jeter.
Grown-ass man.
A-Rod.
Grown-ass man.
Jorge Posada.
Grown-ass man.
That's why they won.
No, but again, though, I think that when you have, and this goes to managers, again, fans come in and say, the White Sox need Ozzie Guillen. And inside of me,
he would make them cry.
No, inside of me, I want my father to wear a big league uniform. That's me as a son, because I want my daughter and my kid to be with their grandfather on the field, and I want the family picture. That's me as a son. As a baseball man, I don't think that Ozzie Guillens is a great fit for the White Sox.
Too hard.
Why? He would make them cry. Ozzie would make them cry because.
Well, that's the other thing. It not only has, and I feel like baseball could be a reflection of society. Of our society. I'll give you an example. If Ozzie in 05, 06, 07, he'd get on someone's ass. You fucking pussy, blah, blah, blah. You got to do this. You got to do that, blah, blah, blah. If he did that now with social media, and it wasn't around like it is now, like back then, like it is now. If he did that now, people would destroy him and say he is a problem. He is insensitive. What would a player do? No, so Aaron Boone, he's probably saying like, hey, I'm a puppet. He took offense to it because nowadays you got to really walk on eggshells. I think he might snap. I think the puppet comment, because I think that he's being nice to players. He's pissed off
because I think he says things when he's having a drink. I always told Ozzie this, and if I was Aaron's friend, like a close friend, I've said this to Alex Cora: get fired your way. When they take the title away, make sure that you went down and you said what you said. Remember when he did the thing to the guy in the playoffs?
Yeah. When
he said, "What time is it?" And he grabbed him and said,
"Don't do that.
We don't do stay focused." Many people could agree or disagree, but if Alex wanted to do that, that's his thing. Ozzie Guillens had John Garland on his team, and we had a nickname for John Garland, a dear friend of ours now to this day, and we used to call him Hard Guard, and it was a way because Guard thought that he was hard, but he was very sensitive in certain things. John Garland today on this team staff is the toughest dude mentally by a mile. And people thought that he was like not mentally, not like they thought that he was just like a little bit soft because he would talk back and say things. And he was an amazing, the guy has no complaints. But I look at a guy like him, okay, and I look at a guy like the teams now. I could see a player now, Aaron Boone or Ozzie, making a comment or a manager saying, Duke, this number 3, 4, 5 holes are struggling. You guys are going out at night. You doing this. You guys are playing stupid video games. Any comment. And I can see a player getting on social media and saying, our manager said today that we are weak, that we are soft. Yeah. Please don't talk to me about that way. And then it blows up. Again, accountability.
Because back before that was around and society was weak, a manager could go to the media and they use that as their messenger saying, well, the reason we're struggling is because of this and that. So,
but people in the media think that the fans that players don't know. When Ozzie used to do his press conference, all the players used to sit around and be like, players know. Players know everything. They know everything.
Players read newspapers. Now, I don't know who has a newspaper, but players read all quotes. And now it's with social media, it's so fast. But me personally, I wish the Yankees well. I think they're in a tough division. And I don't think that,
that's the other thing.
I don't think that relationship, I think it's, unless he gets into the playoffs, real playoffs, not real playoffs. For me, real playoffs is
American League,
ALDS, ALCS.
Do you think that for them? And again, we're going to jump into our next topic. But do you think for them, and if he's a long-term guy, he might say, "Pull the plug. Let's rebuild this the right way"?
Well, I don't think if you're the Yankees, you don't rebuild. You're the Yankees.
You just have to like rebuild on a rebuild.
I'm saying like you get rid of guys,
and then I'm saying you don't do a full out do a full out.
I just think that their personnel, which I don't know if Cashman asked them, we're gonna get this guy, we're gonna get that guy. He's like, hey, I got stuck with these guys.
And we're saying that because we've experienced it. There's been
there's certain managers that like certain type of players. I can only speak. My old man hates power hitters as far as like, don't give me a lineup that all they can do is hit bombs.
No, rephrase yourself. He does not hate power hitters. He hates guys that can don't run.
He doesn't like guys that are one-dimensional.
Yeah.
Because, it's like a log jam in the lineup. So give me maybe 1, maybe 2 guys that can bop, but I'd rather have, would you rather have 2 guys hit 40 or 4 or 5 guys hit 20?
So when you're looking at constructing the team, and this is why I give credit to KW and Ozzie, because in that year where Ozzie won it, they had a conversation, and the White Sox at the time had really, really good names, okay? Really, really good names. And for you to have the cojones, okay, to not sign back Magler Ordonez, to trade Carlos Lee, and that all happened because Ozzie and Kenny had a heart-to-heart.
They wanted, and said,
old man wanted speed. this team is good, but we're missing. In order for us to beat X, Y, and Z, we need better pitching. We need this. We need this. And the general manager went with the knowledge of, not, by the way, when I say Ozzie, I mean Ozzie and his field staff. He went with that knowledge and went and built a team around his manager. So if Aaron Boone is asking for more pitching and the front office is giving him more hitting, it's like Moneyball. The general manager said, play so-and-so. I'm not going to play him. He's gone. That's what you got to do. And that happens, okay, in baseball. That has been happening since the game has been played. Why? Because front office, like in college, that's the athletic director. I don't have my watch on right now for that. But everyone has it's like we need to put the responsibility. And again, I think that I don't like the word puppet because I don't think that, I swear to God, I really believe this in my heart. I don't see Cashman calling down or somebody in the Yankees and telling Aaron Boone, walk the next guy. I don't think that Aaron, I'm saying I've known Aaron personally and his family. I would be shocked if that's happening.
Yeah, I highly doubt that.
Because Brett would be making fun of him. Everyone would be like ripping him up. Are there other managers, though, in Major League Baseball that would allow that? Probably. Here's the difference. If I got the opportunity to manage, if I got the opportunity to manage Yankees,
Rick Renteria wouldn't allow
for sure. If I was the Yankees manager, they call me and say, Ozzie Jr., you have been named the Pirates manager.
I'll do whatever you want.
And you say, this is the lineup.
Sure.
Your players have to use Manscaped. You have to hit so and so forth. I would say, I will be the biggest robot puppet. Give me the money and the fact that I can say that I can manage Major League. But when you get to guys like Ozzie Guillens, Aaron Boone, George Girardi, you know what that means? Guys that have money in the bank, okay? Guys that have credentials, guys whose pride will not let them...
And been around the game.
They say, you know what? F you. I'll get fired. I won't coach. And this is why the game now is like, man, where are the big name coaches? If you're a big name player guy, you're going to go in a meeting and everyone's talking and they're all full of shit, you're going to walk out. We've seen guys that said, oh yeah, I was consulting for so-and-so team. Why did you quit? All those guys are full of it. Jeff Bagwell and Craig Biggio weren't allowed to be around the Houston Astros batting practice and all that. And then we saw what happened in Houston. I wonder why.
They probably didn't agree with it.
But they probably say, hey,
this is ridiculous.
I always say everything happens on your watch. So I think with the Yankee situation, I don't like labeling managers old school, new school, analytics, because you make guys like Ozzie feel like he doesn't even know what numbers are. And this is what all this guy did. And here's the difference. Guys like Aaron that are taking the time, because we've done it with Ozzie, of like, hey, this is what this number means. Oh, this number is great. Like if you give Ozzie, for example,
I'll be rooting for Aaron Boone this year.
I will be rooting, but if you give Ozzie, for example, a great number that he loves, the shifts. He is salivates, defense guy. He's like, if you give me the shifts, good luck. When to run the bases, okay? But if you tell Ozzie, hey, this is pitch frame, just say this number is BS. You want me to have a good pitch framer? Give me a good pitching staff. Oh, exit velocity. Oh, really? Where did the ball exit?
All right. Before we go on to the next topic, what's it matter? Make sure the ball doesn't get
that's what I'm saying, though. But
Ozzie
would have called a slow person, a dumb person, a crazy Latino for saying, I don't care. You want to get Ozzie mad every time Ryan and the guys from NBC where he works write, and Scott Merkin and write, the ball exit velocity of Pantera's ball was 125 miles per hour, but it was hit into a double play. And he reads it on his Twitter, his guts, because as a manager, he hated when they'd say good at bat. No. Like, was it a good at bat? I'm out. You're out. Again, Aaron Boone, when we were talking about this and like the managers and the combination, because the game is changing a lot. The game is changing a lot to a point now that, again, I think that technology and sports are all coming together because, and that's going to be later in the show, but it's always going to get down to the emotional, okay? And this is not a baseball topic, but it's a topic that is about sports. And it's a topic about, we've lived with a coach. We've coached ourselves at different levels. That passion that you have inside you, you have to learn how to control it. But the situation between Michigan and Wisconsin, and I'm just going to put a tad bit here, right here. I'm not a Wisconsin fan. I am not a Michigan fan. I do hate Wisconsin a little bit more, unless I'm going to give my son a scholarship to go play there one day. Not a huge fan of Wisconsin, just in general.
No, I mean, what happened between and like you said, it's sports bring a lot of emotions.
So break it down. A guy called a timeout. Something happened in the game of unwritten rules.
You don't do that.
When you're coaching, okay, and you're winning and losing, and you've been on both sides, and this happens at every level, there's certain things that you don't do, okay? And this is like when Bean Fest start, you don't bunt up 10 runs. That's just something that it's like spitting in my face. So something happened in the game where Howard was not happy about. He kept saying, I'm not going to forget this, okay? This man's about 6'10".
No, and he also lost.
Well, he lost.
And in his face, is like they were like rubbing it in his face.
Correct.
And obviously,
so the handshake line comes in. I hate the handshake line.
That's always awkward.
It's awkward because you're telling kids to express themselves. Sometimes expression comes off as showing off.
Right, and then
this is a wrong moment.
I just lost. I'm pissed. I got to go shake someone's hand.
Do it at the end of the year. Do a banquet and have everybody shake hands.
Howard walks by,
but the guy grabs him though and says,
the assistant coach is the one that puts his hands on him and says, "Hey, where you going? Shake my hand." And Juwan's like, "Hey, I didn't like the fact that you did this." They start chirping. More people get involved, and then Juwan Howard.
It was not. So
takes
by the way,
a smack.
For anyone, we grew up differently. When you punch a man, you're giving him the respect that you're at least giving him a punch. When you slap a man,
that's worse.
That is worse. That's like your mama slapping you. Like you get slapped open-handed. Okay, closed fist. Again, you might say that we're Neanderthals, that we come from a different time. Like the world of respect, the way that our grandfather has raised. Before you're a coach, before you're anything, there's a respect thing. Don't be putting. If I tell you, hey, don't put your hands on me. I know in the United States, and we've been warned about this a million times. Neither of us have been arrested ever. You hit somebody, you probably gonna get sued and do that. That's a different thing. That's why I miss Venezuela sometimes, because you beat somebody in Venezuela, it's usually like, hey, what so beat up so. You don't get sued or arrested for that sort of thing. But he put his hands on him, and you could see him saying, "Hey, man, don't touch." And everyone around him is like, "Hey, like, calm down." In the line, because I've done it. Okay, I've dealt with it with little kids. I've dealt with it with like when I coach older kids. You're down the line. There's guys that walk like this. There's guys that don't shake the hand, and you just have to. And there's always that one coach. Look, Billy, why didn't you shake? Dude, let Billy be.
I play.
He's not a handshake.
I play in the men's league. If I lose and I'm mad at the other team,
but you walk up, but you do the line, but you just don't shake. You say,
I just say, hey.
But it happens in soccer. Like people don't realize like it happens in a lot of sports. So this guy puts his hands on him, and then Juwan says, "Hey," he slaps him. Then obviously altercation. Some other coach comes out. I'm going to save my buddy, and he gets slapped.
So I mean, like I said, emotions happen. And before we go on to our next topic, I just think that it's unfortunate because obviously the NCAA now has to do something.
I don't want him to be labeled now angry black man because he's 6'10", because this guy who's
the other guy provoked him.
And here's the thing. And then you see the video of the other guy, he's got to be the strength conditioning coach from Wisconsin doing the suck it.
Like the other guy provoked him. And I hope he's probably going to get suspended, but I hope he doesn't get fired.
Well, he can't get, this is a part though. This is where the media grabs it. They were saying a punch, no, it's a slap. Going back again to our experience, Ozzie Guillens was deemed the headhunter. In all the years, he only told one time, hit this guy. And the guy didn't even hit him. He missed him. There's a Sean Tracy story where, the miss, whatever. Every other time, the White Sox pitchers would hit guys. No, but here's the thing. Other coaches in other teams would start things with Ozzie. And Ozzie, not only Ozzie, but his coaching staff, we had a lot of very tough guys like Greg Walker, would say, we're going to finish it. You're not going to come to our field, okay, disrespect us, do what you got to do, and then expect us to just be like, oh, we're not going to do anything. And then when Ozzie would say something in the media so they can get the message, or would say something to defend himself or his team, they deemed him, oh, he's the angry guy. Bobby Cogg's the guy who's been thrown out of more baseball games in the history of baseball. Nobody says that about him. Tony La Russa, biggest headhunter in the world. And you don't see him, people saying, oh, but if you talk about Ozzie Guillens or talk about certain guys, Dusty, oh, the scary, oh, he's so tough, the Venezuelan guy. You can't do that. I don't want Juwan Howard to be labeled, oh, this guy has anger. He's got anger issues. He can't deal with kids. I said, just like that coach both coaches were wrong. Okay, Juwan for letting his emotions get to him, and for that other coach to stop him. So he's Juwan's daddy. He tells Juwan's daddy or his athletic director, wait till the game's over, and then in the press conference said, you know what, Juwan Howard, I'm very disappointed in you. You know why? I tried to shake your hand and you took and leave it at that, and you just pressed it.
Because remember,
he didn't apologize. Juwan Howard didn't apologize.
Remember, we are all men and women.
We're adults.
You shouldn't disrespect.
And people talk about like he was coaching 8-year-olds.
No, they're coaching.
By the way, college basketball is professional sports. They just don't get paid.
Correct.
Let's just keep it
even
real.
to our next topic is the college baseball.
But before that, do you think college kids use for any kid out there that's in college? I know it's a very but I must say it's a very important time for you. I wish that I had this right here, Manscaped. When I was in college, is probably when I started.
Guys, right now, no one wants anybody to smell bad.
No one wants
or to be a junkie.
On
that note, support Guillens World is brought to you by Manscaped, who's the best in men's below the waist grooming. Manscaped offers precision engineered tools for your family jewels. Manscaped recently launched the ultimate men's hygiene bundle, the Performance Package. Join over 4 million men worldwide who trust Manscaped with this exclusive offer for you. 20% off and free worldwide shipping with the code Guillens20 at manscaped.com. If my math is correct, that's about 8 million balls. Guys in college, after practice, after games, get this.
Not only do you have the order for here now,
take
you
care.
have the Performance One package gives you, after you've done manscaping, you get to put deodorant on your balls. It's like, right now, if I went back into my single game, my game would be that much more fire. So Manscaped. So everyone in college, and if you are not, you should be doing this already, but get the Performance Package. Guillens20 is a code, 20% off. College baseball. And I want to talk about college baseball I don't think there's been a time in the last couple years that everyone's been so excited about college baseball. I've always been excited about college baseball, but this weekend I was like really into it. Maybe because the lockout, but college baseball's there and everyone's excited. Number one, I'm going to say this real quick. Take away the aluminum bats.
Yes.
These kids should not be hitting with aluminum. And I know that's a whole that's all a money thing, and we'll talk about that in another show. But these kids should not be hitting with aluminum bats. But we saw a lot of things in college baseball, a lot of things that we knew that was wrong with college baseball beforehand. Coaches overcoaching and overmanaging. You want to talk about control of a program from a front office standpoint? Them telling other managers what to do in the game of college. Okay, coaches have always told guys in the majority of the programs how to hit, when to hit, what to pitch, what to throw. So when Oney was in college, and he could talk about this, they would say only swing 0-2. Like you'd have to take pitches on purpose because they wanted you to hit in a certain count.
Yeah, I've always had a love-hate relationship with college baseball because I actually went through the experience, and I was very, very disappointed. I always think that sometimes programs try to teach 30 guys to hit. So the part that I think we're talking about development. I think that college is great for a guy that wants to make himself a better player. So had I listened to college, I think I would have been a better player because I would have been more time in Manscaped. Ozzy swinging because my natural talent. They try to teach guys how to do certain things one way.
Correct.
Everyone's going to hit this way.
Ronald Acuna, and Miguel Cabrera in college would be complete failures.
Exactly. So they try to grab. That's why college is like, we're going to do things this way. We do things this way. And now the fact that there's guys. So
let's talk about the band.
There's guys wearing a band.
So there's a K band. Okay. And the K band is a new wearable. Okay. That is going to help guys on the field no longer use signs. Okay. When it means signs, okay, it means the signs that were actually created because of a deaf player, by the way, because before the guy couldn't know what was happening. So they had to do, you can Google it. They had to do signs, but in college before you look, and in all travel baseball, your coach would be like, and then like in football, and then the kid would throw the signs and then they'd have to make the pitch. That was the story. Then the SEC allowed for walkie-talkies in the catcher's ear, but he couldn't talk back to him. So in high school and in college, this has always been a thing of pitchers calling pitches. I've always had an issue with this because of development. Okay, you are not letting their brains develop. And as players,
like you really stunt the growth.
So that's what I'm saying. So now you're on the infield, and this is why I was mad at, like, not mad, but I was like, this is not good. Everyone in the infield for one team had the position. So they look at the watch. For the people who grew up around the game of baseball, like me and Oney, if I'm playing college and I'm hitting and I see the shortstop shift a certain way, I said, "Oh, really? That's where you're going to shift?" Okay. So you can so they're giving out the information, but if there's ways around it, like if they're trying.
Okay, so I have a question. What's the difference between, okay, I have to move 3 steps here. What's the difference between a coach telling you, yo, 3 steps here?
It's called,
what's the difference? Why do you need?
It's called eye watch.
Why do you need technology to do that? Why can't a coach you're there? Hey, second base, 2 steps to the bag.
Yeah, and you have your chart as a coach.
Because you're looking at, hey, this guy does makes contact. I just think that they try to take control over too much.
Well, somebody said
and
the
pace
pace of the game.
And
so someone said the pace of the game. Okay.
They don't let guys feel like.
So college baseball is college baseball. Okay. And it's always going to take longer because guys throw a lot more balls and guys have aluminum bats. Big League Baseball, somebody said this would be a great solution for Big League Baseball because we need to make the pace of play faster. Games right now, the average is 3 hours and 10 minutes. You want to make the game faster, make it 7 innings and change the game completely.
Yeah.
Like I'm just saying though, like you can't sit and watch baseball for 3 hours and 10 minutes, and you're not the person that we're going after to do it. 3 hours and 10 minutes is already a game that is fast enough. Like guys, come on, like this is just too much. So you think that this is going to be faster? A guy looking at it.
Me, if I was hitting, I'd be like, hey, time. Say, can you get that guy to take that thing on the wrist?
Well, I'm saying that, but now they had to put it part of the rules. But I'll give you a thing. I saw a kid. Okay, the play was already confusing. The kid was in the box, and because of this, that's why the guy called timeout. He's in the box. This is Bryant College versus ECU, the Pirates. Very close game. The kid's hitting, and he looked like he had a little football player fanny pack. They all had it, and I thought it was for their hands to keep themselves warm. They had all the playbooks. So this guy, Juan Uribe, had to look at it, but they were giving signs. So not only now they're slow players, so now you thought that this guy was slow with signs. He's like this, looking at all his playbook. By the way, this is like runner on second.
I mean, I honestly hate,
runner on second. Here's the thing, runner on second, nobody out. There's 2 signs.
Get
Bunt
a hit.
Or don't hit.
But at least there's a runner on base. Maybe they want to do something. I see guys in college look down on every pitch, and even in high school.
Well, but
I was like, it's a second inning. Nobody's on base. That's why. What the fuck are you looking at? But you don't need to look at me.
So the nervous, you're already a young kid. And
like you step in the box, you look at your coach. I coach high school.
So they call a timeout. So
I said, what are you doing looking at me? You don't need to look at me every pitch. I don't know the sign for hit a double. You don't have to look at me. I don't like that eye wash stuff.
That's the sign for the double.
Like just eye wash. You're like this, step in the box. What are you looking at me for? Look at the pitcher. Now, if that's what you want to do, fine. But I'm not going to give you a sign. There's coaches that give signs. There's nothing going on.
Tom Matthew. So the play happens, and the first baseman from Bryant is like, this is taking too long. Probably he was an older kid in the team. Calls a timeout. Mind you, the first base umpire throws his hands up. Ball comes to the plate. The kid hits a walk-off, to tie the game. A home run. Like this ball was smoked, and they had to call the play back.
Shame on the umpire.
Well, actually, when you look at things, shame on the umpire for calling the timeout after the ball was already.
But props for that's the rule.
That's the rule.
If the umpire did give you
But there was so much confusion. Again, look every single time. Like a kid came in to make his debut, and he was on the mound, and he was looking. He was more concerned of what this coach was telling him to throw. So if this is allowed in the big leagues, and we're talking about controlling the lineup in the game, you don't think general manager are going to ask for access on what pitch to call? So now you got a guy, the real pitching coach is going to be up there, okay? And he's going to be sending.
So the catcher is nobody.
So they're going to print out, okay?
This is your game plan.
The audit. And they're going to audit every game.
Yeah,
say,
but
here's the difference. You call a changeup and you leave a hanger. What's going to happen? They're going to hit it. The thing is that
people don't understand this is that when you're on the mound, sometimes it's a feel thing. Yeah. Hey, I feel really good with my fastball today. I don't feel the slider. I don't feel it. I don't want to throw that pitch right now because it's you have to feel comfortable.
What do you think catchers? People understand. What do you guys think catchers would go up there and catchers would deem the smartest people in the field because they develop their brain more than left fielders would? Because Johnny would be in left field thinking about what am I going to eat later. But when you're catching, even when you're a little kid, you're thinking about block the ball, run around second. Hey, this is how we're going to pitch. You become a leader. You're talking. Hey, man, what do you feel good? Hey, let's pitch this guy differently. Like this pitch looks better. You're missing with your fastball. And the funny thing is, all this college game, they were all like really, really, really trying, like looking at the play, looking at all that. They all lost because of physical errors. Ground ball error, booted. Ground ball, threw the ball wrong.
So they sign off. You got to catch the ball. You got to throw the ball. You got to run the bases well. Throw strikes.
Oh, don't even get me running the bases well. They need an app for that. These kids are making horrendous running mistakes. So again, I get where it's at. You want to find ways to maybe communicate more, but do not stop developing because of these apps. And this is a part. Kids in Latin America, because of money,
There's no
watch. So when they're learning, when you're 5 and 6 and 7, I can see this now in travel baseball, and you're learning, your coach is telling you fastball. There's a kid in Venezuela just learning on his own, just watching games and saying like, oh, what's Salvador's players calling? And that's why people say, man, why does that Latino kid look so amazing? No, it's because he's imitating big leaguers. He's out there throwing signs, and that's how you develop better players in the game. You're not there. Your coach telling you, you're only throwing this, son. You're having fun and exploring yourself as a baseball player. That's why we don't see anybody in the United States make ground balls, touch the bag, and run over people and throw it anymore. Why? Because they tell you, hey, touch the bag. Dude, you're playing very limited ball. You're not Ozzie Smith, just free, just playing. All those shortstops, just free, playing. Let the guys play in college. I think that development, guys, college is your pipeline to the big leagues. Okay, not everyone comes from high school. Best players come from the college level. So now you're making them have a disadvantage.
And by the way, everything you learn in college,
yeah, they say
once you get to the minors, good luck.
Good luck again. But it's a show where we're talking about accountability, knowing what to do. But baseball, we miss you. We cannot wait to have you back. But keep watching the college baseball. And from the Guillens world, Ozzie Senior, stop vacationing. We want you back. We'll see you soon here in the Guillens world.
Before it hits the front page.